try and keep this thing alive. So 1 year into karting, how's it going? I ran my first K1 GP in July of 2022, and full disclosure, I got exposed. Qualified last, I finished last, and I'd even come in the day before to do a couple practice races, and I felt good. Uh, the fastest one twice on a busy Saturday, and I took a year to recover and work in the sim and on my mindset and whether I really wanted to do any more serious kind of racing than that. So whether it was going to go anywhere after that, I had to know whether or not I was for an actual challenge of actual humans who are also actually committed to trying to win. You know what I mean? So I found an opportunity to go and do a top part test in St. Louis. Yeah. I was sick of waiting for something amazing to fall into my lap. So I got to test an Ignite 206 at Gateway in St. Louis and saw just how much fun I could have in kart if I could just get like that's my ego and that stigma that everybody puts on karting. I found myself regretting not going to the K1 Indy race in January of last year and scheduled a coaching session to try and make myself more competitive. And in 1 hour of four coaching sessions on track, I was well over half a second faster, I think closer to a second, at a 25-second track that I was running 26s at. Um, Coaching is input output. Everything is magnified on a track. It's so small with cards that have such little power, and being forced to adapt your driving style to each particular card's attributes is actually a very useful skill moving forward into auto racing. Uh, Things aren't always perfect. It doesn't always go according to plan in racing in real life. So sometimes it turns into a lemonade stand. You're trying to make the best you can of what you've been given. And after a few months, I'd converted a couple of second places in the B main from pole, which felt like an L. But as the year went on and the field thinned out, I found my way further and further up into the A. First, just into it, just barely. And then toward the end of the year, it was one session, but I closed the year with an actual podium in December with an A main, third place, which felt good from qualifying third to the finish. Uh, so from October of 2023, that first test, I was about 4.5 seconds off the pace at that track from what I was told. Um, I got the chance to do that Lucy Wallace late model test like in April. If you haven't seen that video, it was a lot of fun. It was not a maxed setup or anything. It wasn't a proper test. It was more like it was a Rusty Wallace racing experience. And it felt like a rental car because like little things were off. The throttle didn't have the faceplate. It was just the knuckle. It was just the knuckle joint. So I was using that as the pedal. It was still the pedal. It just didn't have the faceplate. That's fine. Um, they wanted you to just keep it in third gear, so they'd geared it for third, but you would chip it by the end of the anyway. Um, it was a great experience at Lucas Oil, which wasn't a big enough track to scare me, but it was a big enough track that I had to respect the speed that I was going when I entered a corner. So it was perfect for a first time on an oval. Um, but that 4.5 seconds off the pace kind of harmed me because I was kind of writing off the best people in the sim as just cheaters, I'll say, or aliens. Like, they must have something I don't have access to, was the way I was thinking. And I'm finding that not really. Like, not really. They have access to information you don't have yet. They have access to a sense of field that you don't know how to look for yet. Um, I'm closing in. I'm not there yet, but I'm closer than I ever was before. So we went from about 5 seconds off the pace, but able to pull like F1 fastest laps in like real world times in the video game, not in iRacing yet. You know what I mean? Um, to now, like that gap is shrinking. Um, I was 4 seconds off for my first test with LO206 at CW Kart in Whiteland. And I was like, okay, all right, I remember that number. And I came back. I was 3 seconds off because I had somebody I could shadow. And I shadowed somebody again. And I was 2 seconds off. And then we ran that first event in October, and I ran 206 heavy. And I burnt the clutch on the hairpin in practice lap one. And we got disqualified from qualifying for a weight error. And, but we did manage to not finish last in either the heat or the final. Did have a 360. Called it a 360 because we kept it pointed the right direction. It was an exit of a corner. Finished the final in ninth, but of 11. So I'm keeping that in perspective. Daytona was amazing for the inaugural round, we'll say, of the American Electric Big Championship is what they're going to call it. And God bless them. It was fun. Finished that ninth as well. Of 14 entries, 12 of whom ran the final. So similar to what we did at Whiteland, and similar gap to the leader's pace, 2 seconds. Even though we were looking at triple the power and national competition instead of regional competition. IKC at Whiteland is legit. That's national competition. Sierra is gotta be close to it. That's road racing caliber competition happening in go-karts on closed street circuits. Like, this is street racing in karts. It's gonna be so sick. Uh, heavy or medium, we'll see if I can qualify for medium. I think I can, but we'll see. Um, K100 is an option that's on the table for at least like maybe an event or two. But that would definitely be something that I would be like doing a one time for the one time. I would not be buying one of those. That's for certain. Um, a low 206 is what I can predict we'll be running the majority this season. We got to get our technique up. We got to get the technique up before I can do anything silly like jumping into KC80. However, we'll see what I can turn around for Daytona Kart Week at the end of the year, because that was a little glimpse into a world of epic, epic ideas when I went and saw Daytona. The rest of it, because I got to run a really cool class, and I thoroughly appreciated the opportunity, and I very much enjoyed it. And of course, there were roadblocks and obstacles and speed bumps and things that we ran into, but we had a great time. We had a great time, and it could have gone way worse. So now that we have our own chassis and we'll be able to handle repairs if it comes to it. Um, as opposed to potentially breaking somebody else's and then them telling me how much they want me to pay for them to fix it. Uh, Different proposition. Anyway, that being said, we will be racing under CW Kart through PSL, Burrell Art 2025 with a brand new RY30. It's here. It's in the box. We got to build it. I'm nervous. I'm excited. Proud. Let's do this. If you were on a similar journey, update us in the comments. If you want to take the next step in your racing career, but don't know the next right move, get in touch with me at goldengoalmedia.com or email me at andrew@goldengoalmedia.com and we'll try to get on the phone and we'll try and get you in the game somewhere close to you. Uh, I have the channels, I have the forums, I know what to look into. I'd like to thank specifically Aztec Sim Sports for making some of the best sim equipment in the world out of Denmark. Our code gets you 5% off your new setup when you're ready to get in and train for real. Groons superfood gummies. They're the only vitamin I need to take when I'm on the road. They're a lifesaver. It's 8 gummy vitamins basically in a packet, a daily packet. And it's so hard to get everything you need when you're on the road, when you're traveling for business or for pleasure. These help me stay up toward the end of the week, like physically, like not run down at the end of the trip. Our code gets you 20 off your first order, 20 bucks off your first order. They have sugar-free and natural sugar-based versions, depending on what you feel is healthier. And they don't taste very different from each other. Um, I only knew to ask this company if I could work with them because I already use them myself. They were very gracious. Gummy vitamins did grow up with us, and now this little pack of 8 from Groons um keeps me feeling covered without needing a dozen different supplements in the little stack containers or anything looking sus on the road. Good God. And I know they have the little German dots on the U, the umlauts, but they are made in the USA, which I like. And finally, the oldest partner on this list is DistroKid, and there are a lot of musicians out there with opinions about distributors. This is the one that I've used. This is the platform that my sister used to put out our first projects each, and I can't recommend it enough for that purpose. We have a discount code. I have a discount code for your new membership down below if you've been making music and you are sick of giving people your SoundCloud link. I have to thank these partners for taking the shot on such a small channel at this time, but betting on our professionalism and that this is going to keep getting better 1% at a time. With DistroKid, to get back to that, it puts you up on Spotify, it puts you up on Apple Music, it puts you in front of the people that you love for a flat fee, and they leave you 100% of your royalties. You pay a flat fee, you are betting on yourself that you're going to make more than that over the course of the year. And if you don't, then you get the pride of being up on these digital stores, which is a nice little brag. You get unlimited uploads. They take 0%. That is true. There is a delay, yes, on your payout, but it is accurate. Uh, there's a lot I've gotten done on there. There's a lot I've gotten done on here. There's a lot we still got to go get done. Um, we'll get into it, but welcome to the off season that doesn't exist. I'm Drew Goldman for Closed Circuit Sports, and I'm looking forward to 2025, at least for the racing. Uh, Appreciate you joining us. Take care. Peace.